Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check how to play with Cara. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, Cara is the newest character in the game, and she's a suppress demon type. Suppress and demon are easy to support with all the gear that we have. But there's a good amount of things that you have to consider when building Cara and playing Cara. So, let's get started with the skills and the leader skill. So, the leader skill says, the Blood Lord. Gain 1 drop of blood for every successful hit, upon up to 30. Certain skills consume 10 drops of blood to increase damage by 30%. So, it will only say that it enhances damage instead of saying the specific number, which is fine on the description. So, Cara is a new kind of character in the way that she comes with another bar, which I like. I mean, this means that they are able to implement new mechanics into the game for different characters. They don't have to do that for everyone, but it is certainly nice. And as you can see, her basic chain has a range attack in the middle. She's not like pure melee attack, but that's fine. Another thing to take into consideration is that she moves like Astaroth, and as such, she has fast dodges, and she's able to change positions. Unfortunately, she's not Astaroth. Astaroth is a range attacking, and Cara is a melee attacker, which conflicts with what she wants to do or how she plays. So let's check very quickly those skills. So, Crimson Smite. This is one of her two basic enhancers. This is the melee basic enhancer that provides extra damage. Enhances basic attack, becoming a consecutive attack of Blood Fist strikes. Increases damage by 10%, increases damage by an additional 20%, and increases particle charge amount by 50%. I mean, it's fine for dailies. It's fine for waves of mobs, but that's about it. It is not really the kind of skill that you want to use against challenging content. Then, Crimson Punisher. Crimson Punisher is a range attack. The only main color range attack. During normal attacks, hold attack, 12-second cooldown. Throws a blade forward to attack. Consumes blood to enhance the skill. 1 red increases speed by 10% for 7 seconds. 2 red adds 4 additional attacks, and 3 red increase critical damage by 250%. So, little side note. While you see this looks like Kirara's skill, the one that makes an icicle to the front, well, it is more like Phantasma's basic attack that is going to create a bunch of mini missiles that are going to affect a wide area in front of her when she has the set 2 activated, just so that you know. Then, Bloodblade. Bloodblade is going to be the second melee basic enhancer, and this one is going to enhance the speed. Enhances basic attacks and delivers an additional attack with blades. Increase the speed of basic attacks by 5%, increase the speed of basic attacks by an additional 10%, and increases particle charge amount by 50%. So this one is actually usable. Why? Because this is going to quickly charge your particle bar, of course, allowing you to ultimate or use your actives, but also is going to quickly charge your blood bar. So yeah, it's definitely worth using this one. Pool of Blood. Pool of Blood is going to be the main green, the pure green attack. It's a melee attack, hold the bait, 14-second cooldowns, creates spikes from a pool of blood formed beneath her, dealing an area attack that slows down enemies by 20% for 7 seconds. Consumes blood to enhance the skill. 1 green increases area of the attack by 25%, 2 green adds 2 additional attacks, and 3 green increase critical rate by 50%. So, unfortunately, this has the critical rate, which means the basic damage that this does is not... It is the highest, but it is not going to be as high if we compare it with the other two skills when they proc their activation condition. Like, that's a shame. Honestly, this attack is super good, but it has a big flaw. And that big flaw is that you expose yourself and you're gonna take hits while casting this skill. Unless the enemy doesn't have super armor or you break it with this skill. But in the case of really challenging content, most likely you're gonna receive a couple hits while casting this. So keep that in mind. Blood Spear. Blood Spear is a melee attack, dash attack, 8-second cooldowns, perform a short dash and creates spikes ahead to deliver a charge attack, consumes blood to enhance the skill. 2 green gains 5 drops of blood when using the skill, 2 blue increases area of attack, 2 red adds 2 additional attacks. This is an okay attack. Honestly, it's not that impressive. But you're gonna see that this is one that we use a lot. And there's a reason for that. So, we have Blood Feast Retribution. Retribution over here is gonna be a melee attack, hold the bait, 14-second cooldowns. Perform a consecutive attack while advancing, striking with fist, formed from blood. Consumes blood to enhance the skill. 1 blue increases damage by 10% for 7 seconds. 2 blue increase the area of attack by 40%. And 3 blue increase damage by 150%. This skill is actually pretty decent. By comparison, it has no flaws. This one, its flaw is that it's a little bit confusing when we see the animation, and also that it's a range attack. Honestly, it would be better if she was pure melee, but it is a range attack. And this one, as I mentioned, the base damage is not that great, but well, it is what it is. Then, Crimson Presence. Crimson Presence over here is going to be a perfect dodge. Immediately before enemy attack, dodge. 16-second cooldown. When performing an extreme dodge, she is shrouded in Crimson Presence, maintaining the maximum number of blood for 5 seconds. During this effect, bloods do not decrease. So, yeah, I mean, it's worth it in a way that might confuse people. So let me tell you this. If you use this skill, you max out the blood stack, which basically trivializes her whole mechanic. I mean, it was a weird decision. They didn't need to just add a hack skill for her unique mechanic, but well, it is what it is. It is very abusable, and in most builds, not all of them, but most builds, you can use this and abuse this. And well, during this effect, blood does not decrease. Keep that in mind. That's really, really useful. Especially for people with the heavy Shika pack, because then you can equip multiple skills that consume the particles. The blood. Then this is the mixed color skill. 1 green increases effect duration by 2 seconds. 1 blue increases critical rate by 10% for 7 seconds. 1 red increases critical damage by 10% for 7 seconds. Honestly, it is nice that this can be used on the mixed build, but honestly, you don't want to play the mixed build that much with this character to begin with, so well. Then we have Crimson Regine. Yeah. So, range attack. Immediately after attack, hold evade. Immediately after attack, evade. 3-second cooldown. deals an area attack that absorbs blood from enemies in front. Heals 2% of lost HP when using this skill, and gains 5 drops of blood for each enemy hit. On main green, gains 5 drops of blood after using skill. On main blue, increases area of attack by 50%. On main red, adds 1 additional attack. So this one is completely useless, unfortunately. So there are 2 major flaws on this skill, design flaws. I mean, they are atrocious. Number 1, immediately after attack. This is terrible for a healing skill. Basically, you can use this after any of your main color skills, sure. But Blood Spear won't put you in a great position. The same can be said about Blood Blades, and well, basically those are it. Those are the ones that you can use this for, but the activation condition is atrocious. And then the healing. The healing is 2% of lost HP. It shouldn't be that way. This skill has a big AoE, and the idea would be to make this like an Rose skill, the Devour skill, where the big AoE allows you to hit multiple enemies, and by adding 3% healing of damage dealt, you heal a ton. Even against bosses, when you are overgeared, that's gonna give you a decent heal. But God, they decided to just give you 2% of lost HP. That's nothing. And yeah, they compensate that with the low cooldown. But again, the flaw of immediately after attack is that you have to do a basic chain. You have to wait for the cooldown of other skills. And while spammable, it is not a reliable option. So yeah, that's why people almost never use these kind of skills. Then, Waltzing Bloodblades. Waltzing Bloodblades is a melee attack, double dash, 11-second cooldown, quickly dashes forward and throws blood blades to deliver a consecutive attack. Consumes blood to enhance skill. 2 green, gains 5 additional blood when using a skill. 2 blue, increases the area of attack by 60%. 2 red, adds 2 additional attacks. So while the concept is fine for this skill, the issue is that the HP of Cara isn't that great, and she would need to also add damage reduction and healing to this skill to be reliable. If it has integrated damage reduction and healing, this could be at like 10% max HP healing on this skill, and that would be reliable along with the damage reduction while casting the skill. But Remory decided to omit that part. Then Crimson Shadow. Melee attack and range attack immediately after enemy attacks. Dodge. 10-second cooldown. Teleports behind the nearest enemy and stuns them. Gain 20 drops of blood after using a skill. And it doesn't say that it hits. I mean, the stun, I suppose, is what they imply as a hit, but it does hit the enemy. And set 3 makes the enemy 3 green makes the enemy groggy, which is a weird decision. I don't know the difference between these two. They are almost identical. So what exactly is gonna do this? Is it gonna prolong the stun? Set 3 increases 3 blue increases damage by 20% for 10 seconds. That's really nice. 3 red increases speed by 20% for 10 seconds. That's usable. I won't say like it's super busted, but usable nonetheless. So the skill in paper is nice. The issue? Well, there's 2 issues. Again, Cara has really low HP, so taking a hit is not a great activation condition. And if this had a healing, that would be amazing. So yeah, basically it's the fact that Cara has to take a hit and pair with her low HP. That's going to take a toll on her. For tankier characters, this is fine. For characters who expose themselves a lot, like Cara does expose herself a lot, and that's kind of the issue that the character has with its current HP. So yeah, anyways, let's check. So we're gonna test Cara, yes, but we're gonna test her on 100. Yeah, you can make your own conclusions about that. So let's see. I'm gonna use the name of Fuma to reduce damage taken and increase damage of my basics. Halloween Expedition Team. Damage of suppressed type characters increased by 12%. A generic 12% damage increase is nice, but this is basically a 20% damage increase. Well, not technically, but it has an additional 8% damage increase to melee attacks, and most of Cara's attacks are melee. And then penetration, because good old penetration is always going to help with Time 5 BR. So yeah, these two are difficult to get, but this one is very doable. Now, for the build, we're gonna start blue. Blue is definitely Cara's best color. For the weapons, right now we don't have many options, so I'm using the Momochi weapon. While I don't have it 5 out of 5, it's still great. It has a great effect, so I'm using that. 4 out of 5 plus 15. Whatever weapon 5 out of 5 plus 15. Critical damage Magatamas, water and fire, along with whatever attack Magatamas on the subslot. For skills, we have Blood Retribution to deal damage. Then we have Crimson Shadow for the buff. And we have Blood Blades to deal hits. Fortunately, since we're on blue, we don't need to worry about HP recovery. Because we use Kurenai, she's busted. I was able to clear like 110, yeah, with this one, but I'm doing 100 only. So yeah, she's amazing with this supporter. It just pairs so well with Cara because it compensates for all her flaws. So yeah, we're using this on the main. And a Rose to increase damage and compensate for the missing copy of the weapon. And Kirara, along with Massacre Kunai, is a match made in heaven for Cara. You want this Kirara, it's just amazing. Now, stats of the customs. I mean, obviously it's very, very low because there's just a handful of them. Stat training. And of course, for those who do not know, this is max out. And then, let's do the run. So, what you want to do with Cara is you start by using the active so that you have healing. And then, yeah, I need to take a hit. Like this. And then, I do this. And I eliminate all the enemies. Nice. Pretty good. I love the combination of Kirara and Massacre Kunai because it provides huge damage and sustain. And that's why I like this combo. Because Cara really wants to have someone that provides that 40% damage reduction buff. Well, not buff, like multiplier, but it is. If you don't put the all of your supporters as damage increase, then you're gonna see the difference in your damage output, and that's not the greatest. Okay, I'm gonna use the active just cause. Come on, take a hit. There. Take a hit and I do this, and yeah, done. Done. Pretty easy, pretty simple. As I tell you, I was able to clear 110. I wasn't able to clear 120 on any color with Cara. She struggles a lot right now. And that's part of the issue. She has troubles with solo content. Then let's go with red. Red. I mean, on this one in particular, I could go even more aggressive, but I'm gonna show you the kind of build that you want. Again, the weapons are gonna be the same. For the skills, Pure Crimson Punishment, along with Blood Spear. Blood Spear is really decent on red, so you might as well. And Crimson Presence, because these two skills are gonna consume blood, so we want to have that those blood stacks up. Then for supporters, Susune. We use Susune because I have the Momochi weapon. If you don't have the Momochi weapon, then what you wanna use is Kung Fu Nanasemai. Kung Fu Nanasemai is going to provide you with damage and healing. That's why we use this. Then Momochi Nagi and Lilim. Again, Lilim I'm using because I have the Momochi weapon. But if you don't have the Momochi weapon, instead equip Vacation Fervor. Now, let's go and let's do this. This build has good healing thanks to the main supporter, either Susune or Kung Fu Mai. So I don't have to worry about them, the HP and such. But she's not tanky enough. She really needs more damage reduction. I wish that they fix her in the future. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's this one. I forget the commands. I mean, I'm still. Oh, okay. I'll do this, and then I'll use the. Oh, why? Yeah, another issue that you should know about Cara is that she doesn't have super armor for a melee character. Yeah, nice, Gremory. Good job. So yeah, like I really like Cara, but this is another Francis flop. So yeah, that's bad. Let's see. Let's deal that damage. And hey, Edwin, stay there. Yeah, just like that, I'm able to defeat the enemy. And now, super important to get near the enemy so that I can use my skills right away. Just, oof. Well, I wasn't. That's the thing. She needs more super armor, a ton of super armor. And healing. I mean, poor Cara. She really got the short end of the stick. Okay, there, finally. Finally, I was able to use the skill. So I'll just immobilize the enemies. And there. Nice. And ultimate. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight. Not against 3 enemies with super armor. So there we go. And then we have the green build. Well, honestly, the green build is kind of the best to deal with waves of enemies, but at the same time, it doesn't have a huge AoE. Honestly, most of the AoEs from this character are kind of mid-range if we compare them to other big AoE characters. So take that into consideration. And I'm gonna change this one. So, Pool of Blood, yes. Crimson Present, yes. And now, on the last one, I'm gonna equip... And that's the issue. Like, what to equip? This doesn't give me that much value. Okay, I'll use this one. I'll use Waltzing Bloodblades. Honestly, that's the issue. Green doesn't have, like, skills that you want to use. Because you use Pool of Blood and Crimson Presence, and if you have Crimson Presence, you don't want to use the basic enhancers. But you don't have that many options to pick from. So, yeah. Yeah, this one is the busted build. When we use Shinmora, it is really easy to eliminate the enemies. I'm using Corporate Warrior Ingrid because it gives me crit and damage reduction. She's also a great target to use on the main, as long as you can demolish the stage. Because if unit killing, well, that's when things get complicated. And Francis over here to increase melee damage and speed increase. So let's do that one. And we start by dodging just a little bit, and then I use the... what's the command? Yeah, hold the blade. Yeah. There. Nice. Pretty easy, pretty simple. The thing is, when the enemy has a ton of HP and super armor, like let's say Murasaki on 10, 110, then things become dicey. Yeah, because you get hits because they are not getting their super armor down with the activation of my skill. So, okay, there we go. And I use this one. And double dash. Double dash again. Gosh. Okay. There. Done. So at least I already have a ton of stacks. So I start by activating this. And then I... come on, there! Finally! It took a while, but I managed. And that dealt a tremendous amount of damage and was able to eliminate the mid-boss. Both mid-bosses. So, yeah. Nice. I love this supporter. It's just too busted. And yeah, that's kind of it. So, we know that Cara isn't the greatest character for solo content. Sure. But what about team content? Well, let's go to VR. To stage step 100. Because this is kind of the goal for everyone. To reach 100. After that is just either becoming fulfilling your dreams of going further, or just effectively farming efficiently. Yeah, that's what I do nowadays. So for the formations, I'm going to be using Ex Nisha 8, which is going to give me damage increase when attacking enemies with debuffs. I'm using the Mischievous one, which increases damage to machine type enemies by 20%, while also increasing the damage I take from machine type enemies by 8%. And Challenger Hunter Taimanin, which give me penetration against machine. Honestly, considering my build, this was the best kind of penetration that I could get, but it is what it is. So very quickly, let's check the other characters, super quick. We have Mike over here with the Riot Weapon, 10-9, along with Machine Wind, Anti-Machine with Magatamas, whatever Magatamas on the subload, whatever weapon on the subload, 5 out of 5 and plus 15. Death from Above, Ruthless Explosion, Carpet Bombing. With White Feather Aska to control the enemy, basically. It doesn't give me damage, it only gives me utility on the main. Yukina for the damage increase, and Stella for the damage increase. Set of the customs, start training, and let's go to the next one. Lapis over here for the healing. You need a healer if you're playing with Cara on your team. That's not up for debate. You need it. Either you build one with supporters or you use Felicia or Lapis. That's the way to do it. Then we're using Shikigiri along with water anti-machine Magatamas, whatever Magatamas on the sub-slot, whatever weapon on the sub-slot, 5 out of 5 and plus 15. Gem support, piercing dash, moral boost, the classic supporter Lapis, of course. With Mirabelle to buff the party because the damage dealer are really good. Nana to reduce damage taken, and Kirara to increase damage and have a regen. Start of the customs, start training, and let's check the last one, Cara Cromwell. So again, I'm using the Momochi weapon, and I'm using the classic combo of Momochi weapon, of course. So I have electric Magatamas, anti-machine Magatamas, whatever Magatamas on the subslot, whatever weapon on the subslot, 4 out of 5 plus 15, 5 out of 5 plus 15, Blood Feast, Retribution, Crimson Shadow, and Crimson Presence. If you go blue, you want to use Crimson Shadow. It's just great, even though it has flaws. Then, Massacre Grenade, of course, Bride and a Rose, and Amane for the damage increase against machines. Start of the customs, start training, and let's do the run. So, let's just hope that I don't have damage reduction against suppress. Excellent. We do have HP increase for the boss, but that's fine. And okay, this is good enough. Oh yeah, and of course I want to, come on, there, use the active. Oof. Nice, and the damage increase then. Come on, give me something. Give me. Yeah, the cooldowns are a little bit. They are a balance, of course, but considering her HP values, she honestly needed more damage and to reduce the cooldowns so that she can just abuse her damage. Let's see. Can I just... Okay. No! Don't do that! I just wanna use the buff. Okay. Yeah. Oh no! Yeah. Super armor. Cara's flaw, you know? It is what it is. One of her flaws. Let's see. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just do it. And done. So that took more than a minute, almost 2 minutes. So yeah, I guess you can tell my opinion about Cara by the results, by what I have shown. But let's talk a little bit more about her. So, number one, we're gonna check those weapons. So weapons over here, and we go with Cara. And what does she has? So she is going to share weapons with Astaroth, and Astaroth has two SRs. Photon Bracelet, which is awful, it only gives you crit. And then we have Hexagram, which gives you 80%. Let me check that. Was it always like this? I remember it saying 60 before. Am I right or am I crazy, guys? Let me know in the comments. Hexagram, 80%. Okay, yeah. Yeah, even though maybe it was glitch, probably. So if my memory serves me right, that is. So yeah, it is an okay weapon for anti-machine, but I mean it is SR stats, so that's another thing to take into consideration. Then, um, dead heat. When particle is fully charged, increase damage by. Oh yeah, this one, the ones from the Azeroth pack, ambitious weapon. This one is awful. As usual, these first set of ambitious weapons are awful, and you don't want them. Then we have the Cherry Blossom weapon, which is extremely pay to win. Increases damage dealt to stunned and groggy enemies by 25%, 50%. So, I mean, Cara can abuse this, but I wouldn't recommend it. Then, this one is for Astaroth, for the PvP weapons. Great stat bit sticks, as usual. Then the Momochi weapon, a very reliable weapon for Kara right now. She doesn't have that many options, even though Astaroth had a ton of weapons. She has few of them that she wants to use. And then there are the weapons for Kara herself, which we'll check in a moment. So this one is actually very good. Then we have Holy Knight Missilet. Okay, so this one is pretty good. Really, really good. It is a shame that the VR weapons only work with one character, and, well, obviously, Astaroth weapon is for her, but this is just a great weapon. So we now have a reason to actually build this one next Christmas. Then we have the Spectator, ultimate weapon from an event. Very bad as usual. These weapons work with the stacks, and usually the battle doesn't drag that long. So yeah, forget about it. Decisive weapon, the Great Acne. This is an SR weapon. This is a weapon for Astaroth. Serpent, the Serpent weapon. Snake God weapon, Kulika. So increases particle charge from attacks by 75%. Usable. Why do I say so? If I'm not mistaken, Azeroth doesn't have a summer weapon. So this is your best bet for doing an ulti spam build with Kara. So yeah, maybe you want this, but the issue is that this weapon in particular has very low stats. Then, on the Apophis for Astaroth, a double XR Lost Drive for Astaroth, Sanguine Braces. This is the ambitious weapon for Kara. For each drop of blood, you have damage dealt increases by 1%. For the cost of blood to enhance the skill is reduced by 5. The skill damage of demon type allies increases by 6%, up to 12%, up to 2%. So yeah, this is probably the best weapon Kara has right now. Pretty good, but you need to buy the pack, and you need to use a bunch of Demonite, which might become very doable in the future, but as of the time of recording, it is still very pay to win. So difficult to recommend, even though it's the best option. Bloodstained Regina. Okay, so this one is the gacha weapon that we have right now. Increase the basic attack damage by 25% up to 50%, with a 5% particle activation. It shoots drops of blood forward, dealing damage equal to 220% of attack up to 440% of attack, and gains 10 additional drops of blood. Pretty myth, honestly. As I mentioned, she does like her own basic enhancers, but she's not over reliant on them. So it is not that great of an effect. The active is decent. The active is just decent. And that's it. Those are the weapons. So, should you get Cara? I think the answer is pretty easy. It's a no, unfortunately. You shouldn't. Not right now, at least. So, let me tell you why. So, the biggest issue is her stats. So, over here we can see her stats. And if we compare them with Astaroth, this is 5'8", 6'1", 6'3", 5'6". These are the base ones. The other ones are the ones that use the Magatamas, all the other added stats. So yeah, let's check Astaroth, because basically she's Astaroth's melee counterpart, and Astaroth has 7-1 over here, 7,100, 61, 5'6", 5'2", 6'3". So yeah, and let's compare her with Sora, which is the best attacker right now. I mean, yeah, it is around this much attack, I guess. And let's compare it with the Spinel over here. So, Spinel. Yeah, Spinel has great attack. Great. So, Cara. Honestly, I think they should have broken the 7,000 mark with this character on the attack stat if they were going to lower the HP so much. She doesn't offer anything new. She's not even on par with the most busted attacker for that extremely low HP. So it is just awful. Honestly, I think Cara needs a hotfix, and I mean a really good hotfix, not just a semi-fix in a pack, in her limited pack. No, she is not reliable. That's the thing. Her gameplay is fine, but she lacks a ton of super armor. She lacks HP recovery. This is a joke of HP recovery. It should be on damage, because of how wide the attack is. It would heal you a lot when hitting a ton of enemies. It needs HP recovery on a ton of skills, or at least one good damaging skill that gives HP recovery, damage HP recovery, not lost HP recovery. God, that's bad. She, as I mentioned, needs super armor. She lacks super armor. The activation condition of this skill needs to be fixed. I mean, immediately after attack is not the way for Crimson Regine. So yeah, Shadow Claw is acceptable to some degree. But it would be great if they add, for example, the damage reduction that I mentioned as a base effect and not as a set effect for this, as well as HP recovery, 10% max HP recovery. With those two effects, this skill would be a good way to transition to Crimson Shadow. You get near the enemy, you heal, you gain some damage reduction, so that you then can take a hit and you buff yourself, and then you use your main damaging attack. That could be useful. So yeah, right now it's like not the greatest character. Well, I was very excited about the fact that it comes with a new mechanic with a second bar and the blood stacks, and it does damage. Like, it is, I don't want to say even decent damage. It does okay damage considering the buff, the natural buff that she has by consuming blood stacks. So yeah, that's really bad. She should be dealing way more damage, because it is like if they designed Astaroth as a melee character, but they disregarded all the aspects of her kit that makes Astaroth a ranged character and just copy pasted them to Cara. She needs the super armor to not get interrupted. She needs the healing because she's gonna expose herself, of course. She needs a huge amount of damage to compensate for the lack of HP. Otherwise, she needs to be just balanced in the HP and defense department. So yeah, no, I do not recommend this character. But guys, let me know what you think. Maybe I'm omitting something. I mean, I think that this is a really bad flop. And while it is possible to design a super great fix on the weapon pack, that would mean that the weapon over here, where is it? Here, the pack over here is not going to be useful because you're gonna end up removing this so that you equip the corresponding weapon to gain healing. That's one thing that she needs. But let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think she's worth it? Do you think she's good? Do you think the damage is fine? Do you think she needs a fix? Well, anyways, that's about it. I hope you find this useful, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!